How's it going, everyone? I want to go over a lot of things. The best God of War Ragnarok deal I have seen, it's really the best deal ever for the game, is live right now. I think this is pretty apropos to cover right now ahead of the release of Valhalla, the DLC for the game. Marvel Spider-Man 2 also seeing a bit of a deal, so we'll talk about that. Final Fantasy XVI getting two new story DLCs. Now, the first story DLC already dropped, and it is very much the smaller of the two DLCs. We'll talk about that in the reports about each of them. And lastly, a game that I am very excited about, Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero. The pre-orders have gone live for that. We don't have a release date yet. I'm hoping it's 2024, but we'll talk that at the end of this video. First of all, Best Buy has got God of War Ragnarok at its lowest price yet as a part of their daily holiday deal, so this deal is only going to be available for today. It is $30 for the PlayStation 5 version of the game. The PlayStation 4 version is $20. Obviously, if you want to upgrade the PS4 to the PS5 version, it is $10, so they have that $10 price discrepancy. Most of you guys are probably just gonna go ahead and buy the PS5 version of the game. I don't know if the PS4 version is getting the DLC. I would imagine it is, but sometimes, you know, like Horizon Burning Shores, there was a reason why the DLC was PS5 only, but you know, we'll see how that turns out. And also, obviously, God of War Ragnarok is a game that I imagine the majority of you guys already own if you watch my channel. However, for those of you that may be just getting a PlayStation 5 now, or you're getting it for a family member, like, this is a really good deal. I would highly recommend you to play God of War 2018 before you play Ragnarok, but that is up to you, but definitely play God of War 2018. I mean, God of War 2018 is awesome, and honestly, the game that I enjoyed more so, which I think a lot of people are going to find surprising, but for this price point, $30 for Ragnarok is great. Remember that with Valhalla, you don't have to play through Ragnarok to play Valhalla. You can just play it outright, but you probably should play through Ragnarok because it is considered to be an epilogue. So yeah, if you jump right into Valhalla, there will be spoilers attached, etc., etc. If you don't know, Valhalla is a roguelike mode being added to the game. Very minor story emphasis in the game from the looks of it, but it will have some aspects of storytelling to it as well. But really, it does look like it's focusing on replayability in the sense that you've got a variety of different difficulty settings, and roguelites are just inherently replayable. You go through, you go as far as you can in this game mode, and afterwards you can then upgrade and get permanent upgrades and go through it again. Things will change, etc., etc. I imagine that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to see how far they can get playing it at the various difficulties, because there are 5 different difficulty settings for the Valhalla mode. So it looks like they've put a lot of work and a lot of depth has been added to it. It's just, keep your expectations in line as far as what you are going to get out of it from a story standpoint. I think it's going to be relatively minor, given that it's a free DLC. As much as it's great that it is free DLC, you also have to remember, it is Sony at the end of the day. They wouldn't be offering it as free DLC if it was something really, really sizable. Sony these days, like, they're about generating the most amount of revenue possible, and hey, more power to them on that, but the fact that we're getting any free DLC, I find to be a pretty good thing. So, you know, check that out. That'll be dropping December 12th, but right now, $30 for that game is great. Next up, Marvel Spider-Man 2 over at QVC. If you use the code HOLIDAY30 with a new account, you can get that for $40. This isn't really a Sony discount in the sense that Sony outright is slashing the base price of the game, but the fact that you can finagle a $40 price tag for Spider-Man 2 is pretty great, because I don't see this game getting a discount until probably days of play next year. That's generally when big budget Sony titles are going to get discounted after their initial release in the fall of any given year. That's what happened with God of War Ragnarok as well. So, you know, this is a pretty major discount for a game that, for a lot of people, is their game of the year. It didn't win game of the year, but you know what? Any year that Baldur's Gate 3 came out, like, a lot of other games were going to be in trouble as far as trying to win game of the year. But you know what? Insomniac finally dropped a game that had a 90 on Metacritic, which surprisingly they haven't done in quite a while. Ratchet Rift Apart was not a 90. Marvel Spider-Man 2018 was not a 90. And Miles Morales, obviously, wasn't a 90. Spider-Man 2, I checked the other day, and it's at a 90 flat. So hopefully it sits there. I don't know if any other reviews are going to come in for the game, but yeah, it is at a 90. I remember for a little while it was at a 91. I know a lot of you guys don't care about Metacritic scores and things of this sort, but for Insomniac, I know it's a big deal for them to crack that 90 threshold, and from a Sony standpoint, I know Sony cares a lot about stuff like that, so you know, take that for what you will. Spider-Man 2, $40 over at QVC. Moving on from that, Final Fantasy XVI. The stealth drop really continues. God of War Valhalla, you know, obviously that's a bit of a stealth drop with it coming out in 5 days, but Final Fantasy XVI, they literally dropped the first DLC right off the rip with Echoes of the Fallen. Now, there are going to be 2 story-based DLCs. Echoes of the Fallen is available right now, and then the second DLC, The Rising Tide, that'll be available in the spring of 2024. Now, Echoes of the Fallen, again, available right now, $9.99 for a standalone release. It is relatively short. This is something you can complete in 3 to 4 hours. Given that it's $9.99, not that big of a deal. However, in spring of 2024, The Rising Tide is going to be coming out. That is rumored to be around 10 hours at length, and it'll be including a major confrontation between Clive and the legendary icon Leviathan. Leviathan was hinted at in Final Fantasy XVI, but you never actually got to fight him or anything like that. It looks like that'll be added in in The Rising Tide, and that'll be a legit icon battle. I would imagine that you're gonna get a huge icon battle with that as well, and 10 hours of gameplay is rumored for Rising Tide as compared to Echoes of the Fallen, which is 3 hours. Special bonus items for purchasing Echoes of the Fallen or the expansion pass include the Buster Sword, allowing Clive to wield Cloud Strife's iconic weapon from Final Fantasy VII, and the Away orchestrion roll, which allows a chiptune version of the song Away to be played as background music in the Hideaway. So, new content for FF16. I wonder if this is going to be the only DLC that they release for the game. I just feel like since you have the fundamental gameplay of Final Fantasy XVI in place, it would be really a shame to like lose that and move to Final Fantasy XVII or whatever and do a whole new gameplay style. Like, I think Final Fantasy XVI's gameplay is so enjoyable that hopefully we can have more content utilizing the FF16 gameplay and battle system, because everybody I talked to has absolutely loved FF16 from a gameplay standpoint. I know some people think it's like way too action heavy, but you know what? I think for accessibility reasons and catering to a new audience, FF16 did a really, really good job. So that's my 2 cents on that. DLC has already dropped. Echoes of the Fallen available now, and Rising Tide in 2024. Lastly, I do want to note Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero. This is a game that I am so excited for. Essentially, for a lot of people, this is Tenkaichi 4. I believe in Japan, the Dragon Ball games were called Sparkling, the Tenkaichi games. So it's just adopting that nomenclature. This game looks awesome. I know some people aren't crazy about the art style. I really dig it. I think it looks great, and I've been waiting for a new Dragon Ball game for a while now. Like, we got Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and that was good. Xenoverse has been getting updates, great, and Fighters has been around, but an arcadey fighting game, like, we haven't had one of those in a while, and getting it in the form of a Tenkaichi game, oh man, sign me up. It is priced at $70. I mean, what can you do? That is just the new pricing threshold that games are gonna have, so is what it is as far as that's concerned. I imagine that they're gonna finagle DLC into this game. Back in the day, Tenkaichi 3 didn't have much DLC. I wonder if Sparkling Zero is gonna have DLC. Spoiler alert, it will. If they're charging $130 or $115 for special editions of Naruto Storm Connection, some filler game, you're damn right they're gonna do it for Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero. So we'll see how that turns out. But that'll do it for me. Again, God of War Ragnarok seeing a really nice discount, as is Spider-Man 2. Final Fantasy XVI DLC already dropped, Rising Tide in early 2024, and Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero. Hopefully that's 2024, but pre-orders have opened up. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.